Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're tuning in, you've probably heard the massive buzz around Web3, crypto, and just the sheer amount of opportunity waiting out there in the decentralized world. Well, consider me your personal career coach today. We're going to dive deep into a fantastic guide called Architecting the Chain, and I'm going to walk you through exactly how to break into the wildly high-reward world of blockchain development. Whether you're a total beginner or just looking to pivot your tech career, we are mapping out your whole roadmap right here, right now.
Okay, so here's our coaching syllabus for today. First, blockchain for beginners. Then we'll hit booming Web3 job sectors, followed by your step-by-step roadmap. After that, we're looking at essential skills and projects. And finally, we'll wrap up with salaries and realities.
Let's jump right into Section 1, Blockchain for Beginners.
Now, before we can actually get you that job, we need to demystify what a blockchain developer actually does on a day-to-day basis. Basically, a blockchain developer is a professional who builds applications using secure, decentralized systems without middlemen. At its core, this role is really all about working on crypto apps and building rock-solid networks. But honestly, the absolute most important phrase here is without middlemen. You're building systems that just do not rely on a central authority.
If that sounds a little technical, no worries. Let's use a super simple analogy. Think of blockchain as a shared, totally unbreakable digital notebook. When you build apps on it, everyone gets a copy of that notebook, and literally no one can secretly erase or change a page. And because everyone's looking at the exact same secure notebook, well, you don't need a bank or a boss sitting in the middle to verify things. You are the architect building secure applications directly onto that unbreakable notebook.
To put this into a real-world context, here are a few common tasks you might actually handle. You might be working on systems that process Bitcoin transactions, making sure digital money moves securely from point A to point B. Or, you might be coding what are called smart contracts on the Ethereum network. These are essentially just self-executing agreements that are written entirely in code.
Moving on to Section 2, Booming Web3 Job Sectors.
So knowing what a developer does is great and all, but let's talk about why this field is actually worth your time. The sheer variety of industries crying out for talent right now is staggering. The demand is absolutely through the roof. I mean, yes, you have the obvious ones like crypto and Web3 companies. But beyond that, finance and banking are investing heavily. The supply chain industry is using it globally. And gaming? Gaming is a massive sector right now, integrating blockchain for in-game assets and economies. This is not just about cryptocurrency. This is literally about upgrading how major global industries operate from the ground up.
And because of all this wide adoption, your career growth opportunities are honestly fantastic. As you level up, you can take on specific titles like blockchain engineer, smart contract developer, or Web3 developer. You're looking at global demand in a really high-paying niche. The future scope is just incredibly bright because, well, you're building the next iteration of the internet itself.
All right, Section 3, your step-by-step roadmap. So how do you actually get there? The exciting reality is that the time it takes to become job-ready is roughly 5 to 8 months. Here's a realistic timeline for those critical first phases. In weeks 1 to 4, you actually don't start with crypto. You start by learning foundational programming languages like JavaScript or Python. Then, weeks 5 to 7 are all about blockchain basics, learning what a blockchain is and how transactions actually work under the hood. Weeks 8 to 11 are where you learn to write those smart contracts using a language called Solidity. And finally, weeks 12 to 14 are entirely dedicated to mastering the specific tools of the trade.
Zooming out a bit, this learning timeline builds into a complete 6-step roadmap. Step 1, learn programming. Step 2, learn blockchain basics. Step 3, learn smart contracts. Step 4, which we are going to talk about a lot in just a second, is build projects. Step 5 is learn tools, specifically platforms like Ethereum and wallets like MetaMask. And finally, Step 6, apply for jobs using LinkedIn and dedicated Web3 job platforms. Literally just follow these 6 steps in order and you've got a direct path into the industry.
Which brings us to Section 4, Essential Skills and Projects.
We've seen the roadmap, so now let's look at the actual technical stack you need to master to land that job. For languages, you absolutely need JavaScript, Python, and Solidity. Under core concepts, you've got to understand data structures, basic cryptography, and how smart contracts function. And for your daily tools, you'll be using the Ethereum network, a coding environment called Remix IDE, and the MetaMask wallet. Think of these tools as your absolute keys to the Web3 kingdom.
Now here is some genuinely great news for a lot of you. A traditional BTech degree in computer science or IT, it's completely optional. Yep, you heard that right. Some of the most popular alternatives are 4 to 8 month boot camps or focused certifications from places like Coursera, Udemy, and IBM. In this industry, they care way more about what you can actually build than where you got your diploma.
And because degrees are optional, let's highlight step 4 again. Build projects is very important. Seriously, as your career coach, I cannot stress this enough. Theoretical knowledge is basically useless in Web3 without a solid portfolio. Employers want to see your code in action.
To get you started, here are 3 highly practical, winning portfolio ideas that you can build right now. Number 1, code a basic crypto wallet. Number 2, build a simple NFT marketplace. And number 3, design a secure voting system on the blockchain. Doing these projects proves to an employer that you actually understand the languages, the concepts, and the tools we just talked about.
All right, our final section, Section 5, Salaries and Realities. Let's talk about the financial payoff. We'll use the Indian market as an example here. It is incredibly lucrative. A fresher can expect around 12 lakhs per annum. Once you hit the mid-level, that jumps to 30 lakhs, and senior roles can easily command 35 lakhs or more. I mean, it pays so well, simply because these skills are super rare and the demand is sky high. But let's keep it real and look at the full picture here. The advantages are obvious, right? High salary, working on future Web3 tech, and global demand. But the challenges are definitely real too. You are dealing with complex concepts like cryptography. It's also a rapidly changing field, meaning what you learn today might literally need updating in 6 months. And, no surprise, it requires strong coding skills. There are absolutely no shortcuts around putting in the hours to learn JavaScript, Python, and Solidity.
So, we've covered the what, the why, and exactly how to get there in the next 5 to 8 months. Look, Web3 is fundamentally rewriting the rules of the internet, finance, and way beyond. The only question left is, will you be the one writing the code? I really hope this explainer has given you the clarity and the roadmap you need to take that first step today. Start with those programming languages and I will see you on the chain.